Shigima Mansion. I also think that one of these chapters is probably going to give us better information about where to find the teacher. Good morning, ma'am. How are you feeling? I'm fine. I hope we can make good progress today. How's your curse stone looking? The same? I haven't felt anything from it since sunrise. Interesting. It's possible that its power can only be unleashed at night then. I'm also curious, chain of event-wise, obviously we're in the timeline of Shogo being dead. How did Shogo's actions lead to us being in the park and trying to kill him? I guess I would have to... I don't remember exactly what the, order of events were that we did. He killed Everlasting Lantern, which we technically don't know if that was the teacher or not in that case. Yeah, that would have been that. I guess the fact that he met up with Richter probably is where that led to that timeline. That would make sense, because then, Victor would be like, there's a suspicious kid, while Victor was looking into people. That would have been what happened, I think. Sorry, I just was trying to think it through. It's possible that its power can only be unleashed at night, then. That aside, why are you so late this morning? I'm sleepy. I needed to take a beauty nap. There are unfortunately some things that can't be investigated while the world slumbers. But I did get some research done in what limited time I had. Very well, let's talk. No, let's look for stickers. Someone had to have put a sticker somewhere. The town is beginning to wake up once more. The clamor of society can be heard from beyond the garden gates. Like any day, a cloud of pollution drifts out from the industrial area. I was gonna say something about it before when it was daytime, that it's still very gray, but that makes sense, the industrial shit. It's the old mansion where I was born and raised. No one in the mansion at the moment. The door has been locked shut. The housekeeper has already left after cleaning and preparing food. Oh right, I forgot about that theory that I had, that Yoko might have been the housekeeper. Only based on the fact that Yoko did housework, right? Let me go back to personal interests. Persons of interest, my favorite place. Yeah, housekeeper. That's the gist of my theory on that. How much that might be important is up to debate, and will only really matter when it comes up. But there's a chance. Every time there's supposed to be something on the second floor of a building somewhere. I know that for a fact. I think it's on a street though. I need to stop looking at stuff. Hey, how you doing, boy? He's looking a bit tired. He must have been up all night investigating. Does he know about the Najima situation? I know he's not police, but you would think he would have some contact. By the way, there's something I want to talk to you about. And what's that? Our current plan is to steal a cursed stone that's already absorbed soul dregs, but... I'm wondering if it would suffice to not steal, but instead negotiate with a curse bearer and have them use the right for our purposes? Oh? I mean, I suppose that would accomplish the same, but do you think it's possible? Maybe Richter had this conversation with her when, sooner in the Shogo Alive timeline. So long as we offer compensation, it may prove much easier than you'd expect. I don't know if that's true, because it also comes down to putting a price on a life of someone that you care about, and a price on the lives that you took to bring them back to life. I don't know if that would really work out. Compensation. Cash, for instance. That wouldn't be off the table for a family as rich as the Shigimas, would it? Of course, why any amount would be fine if I get the job done. I won't let monetary matters lead me to regrets that the way it did back with the ransom. Okay, with that option on the table, let's figure out our strategy. I kind of feel like this is silly. Like a silly conversation to be having right now. Let me think about this conversation. We may be surrounded by curses and death, but it matters little. My only concern is whether I can see my child again. About the curse bearers. Do you have a curse bearer with whom we can negotiate in mind if he thinks that the police are... Not yet, surprisingly. It seems the other curse bearers haven't been that proactive about collecting soul drugs. Did you see the news this morning? No, I haven't. Overnight, 3 mysterious deaths were reported in this area. They've yet to announce the identities of the bodies found. But they've been nicknamed the Honjo serial killings. It's garnered quite some attention on the streets. Oh my. Only 3? That, honestly, I kind of agree with Haru on that one. That's what I thought. Even if the victims were curse bearers, just 1 or 2 wouldn't be enough soul drugs. And for what those cursed stones are capable of, a mere 3 victims seems a little on the low side. Shogo went on a fucking warpath the night he had one. With this little activity, he killed 5 people. I know, someone told me. With this little activity all through the night, the curse bearers must be a cautious bunch. What's holding them back? Are we not all after the power of resurrection? There may still be some undiscovered victims, but it doesn't seem like anyone has gathered enough soul drugs yet. We might have to set up some bait to spur them into action. And then we offer them a deal? The deal? I mean, we kind of know why there's less. Obviously, someone that's not going to kill people has collected a lot of them. Actually, that's kind of the main reason. We know someone that... We know foot washing got someone. We can basically assume that because he had soul drugs and the way the body was. But yeah, I guess outside of that, we know why Yako didn't. She kind of wanted to, and might have, if I'm right. I still don't know if the other curse in the school is supposed to be the Whispering Canal. I did look at the ghost from the beginning of the game when Shogo collected it, and it's kind of different looking, but it's mostly in the face. Like, when Shogo saw the ghost, it wasn't quite as angry, but I guess if someone that is more willing to kill than Shogo, then maybe they would have had a more vengeful looking spirit. Shogo went a bit nuts on killing, man. Okay, I'm sorry, It's a mystery, I'm theory crafting the mystery. None of the curse bearers seem very proactive. I wonder if the situation could be what the mastermind who kicked it all off intended. Now that's an interesting theory. You think there's someone behind this all? You mentioned hearing an agonized voice telling you to kill when you first obtained the curse stone. That doesn't sound like a coincidence to me. Someone agitated the curses in this area on purpose, and they were likely after the Rite of Resurrection as well. You know what sucks is I don't remember who knows about the Feast of Shadows and who doesn't. I think, the professor told our detectives about it, and Mio knows about it, I think. I know, Najima said something about the Feast of Shadows, but yeah, I'm not positive. I don't think anyone else knows, or should know. Someone agitated the curses in the area on purpose, and they are likely after the Rite of Resurrection as well. So you're thinking this person is not one of the curse bearers? You've got a sharp mind, ma'am. Though it might seem obvious for the mastermind to become a curse bearer and collect soul drugs if they were after the rite. I guess that's true. That would make sense if they also grabbed one of the curses. This would be very risky since as a curse bearer, they themselves would become a target. So it'd actually be more convenient for them if the curse bearers moved less aggressively. That's right, but despite that, they've been inciting the curse bearers to commit murders. Why? Let's consider this. What if the mastermind isn't trying to collect soul dregs themselves? You mean their intention was also to steal the souls while the other curse bearers compete with each other from the start? Sitting back and observing from the sidelines is the safest course of action, which is why I figured it best for us to attempt the safe strategy. So how should we do it? There's still reason to suspect the mastermind could be a curse bearer themselves. To be honest, I want to keep my distance from whoever it is. There's no telling what kind of power they might possess. Whether our aim is to negotiate or steal, we'll have to outpace the mastermind in making contact with the other curse bearers. How do you suppose we do so? At this point, all we can do is search. I like how Richter, almost sounds like he has it all figured out, but then, his plan is, let's just kind of, workshop it. Maybe we'll get somewhere. There's a mastermind inciting the curse bearers to collect soul dregs. Can we be sure there even is a Rite of Resurrection? Good question. The Rite could be nothing, but a myth fabricated to spur the curse bearers into action. Seeing it might be for naught, do you want to give up, ma'am? She's gonna say, yeah, never. Understood. After all, we'll never know the truth unless we see it for ourselves. But we'll do it without using the curses ourselves. I'd say, realistically, out of anyone that wants to bring someone back to life, Haru is the one that I would be rooting for the most. As much as I, would love to bring a dog back to life. A kid, realistically, is probably the better option. By the way, I met a few people who seemed like potential curse bearers last night. I did some investigating into all of them, but I only managed to get detailed information on 2. Turns out it's the police. You're quick. I suppose that's to be expected from an investigator extraordinaire. I appreciate the flattery. First, there's Ayami Tono, the girl we talked to before, though she isn't a curse bearer herself. She's a student attending T University of Art. She currently lives alone in an apartment near Midoricho Park. You even determined her address? You're not one to be underestimated, Mr. Investigator Extraordinaire. I called every single university with ukiyo-e in the curriculum, pretending to be her parent. I guess that works out. I went around to check on her place on the way here. It doesn't seem like she returned home last night. I'm worried she might have run into some trouble. Didn't you attempt to follow her last night? I'm embarrassed to say, but I couldn't. She shook me. I couldn't keep track of her. And here I thought you were an investigator extraordinaire. Haru, please. You're bullying him. I'd like to learn more about her, but it would take some time. She's planning to steal the cursed stones, just like us. Best we act carefully around her. Mr. Investigator Extraordinaire. Next is a tall man who is dressed in black. I met him near Kinshibori. He stood out with the way he dressed. I managed to get some good information from him. Impressive. What can I say? He works as the secretary to Hihaku Soap's chairwoman. I believe his name is Takumi Yumioka. So, what would we assume that the curse bearer in this situation is? He didn't have one. I guess he could have one at any point, but I would assume the chairwoman would have one then. Which... he claimed the weird fire we saw wasn't his. That fire would probably be the, light, the wisp light thing. So, I guess his would have to be the drum if the reed really is Nejima's. And I say his, I just mean, his association with it, unless if he's associated with a different character that we already know. Soap headquarters and factories are both located in Honjo, correct? Yes, they've been here for a while, but it's only in the past 10 years that the company has shown significant growth. I remember seeing the chairwoman on the news a few years back. She seemed to be very shrewd. With the increase in sales, I assumed she'd want her factories running at full capacity. With the harsh restrictions against industrial waste, a lot of the factories with older equipment had to be shut down. That's right, even 10 years ago there were many complaints about chemical plants dumping waste into the river. Most companies back then were more concerned with making profit than protecting the environment. I wonder what a man working for such a company would have been up to in the middle of the night. On the way here I stopped by the company's headquarters, but they hadn't started for the day. I should have better luck later. Let's hope you will. Perhaps they're interested in seeing if the Rite would be beneficial for their product research into beauty and skincare. Ha! Now that's an interesting thought. Still, I ran into one more suspicious young man last night. This one seemed to be out collecting soul dregs, right? That a young man? Indeed, I couldn't get a good look at him, though I couldn't gather enough intel to properly identify him. That's the, alive professor, right? Well, that's a shame. But I can make an educated guess. Oh? You know that researcher who discovered the ancient text on the Rite of Resurrection? The one that lives near here? His name is Hideki Arashi, and the man I met was very similar in stature. Oh my, even he is involved? How awfully suspect. Considering his background, couldn't he be the one who initiated the whole affair? I think it's possible, yes. Which is why I decided to refrain from making contact with him for the time being. Safety first. Understandable. Of course, I want to learn more, but this isn't the right time to focus on him. More? I prefer to ascertain who else is a curse bearer. First, I'll return to Hihaku Soaps to see the Men in Black. Their headquarters are down on South Waraguchi Street. I learned something new about the criminal involved with the kidnapping. It concerns the serial killings. There was a body found at Komagata High School. The person was identified as a school teacher. His name was Koi Jinochi. You think he was a curse bearer? Not sure, it's possible. But regardless, this means the two people who knew the truth about the kidnapping are both dead. Just when we were getting somewhere. It isn't enough to make me give up, of course. Still, we don't know anything about Michio Shirayashi's residence. It'd be wise to pay it a visit. Understood. I feel like I would want to go to the Michio's residence just so we can find the charm, potentially. In addition to the 3 victims associated with the Honjo serial killings, there's Michio Shirayashi, who reportedly committed suicide, and the police officer who died at the former Yasuda Gardens. If strange deaths continue occurring like so, they're bound to inspire strange rumors. But those last 2 have nothing to do with the 7 mysteries, no? It's true, both occurred a week before this accursed situation began. Still, cannot be ruled out. It's possible that the mastermind was involved even with those killings. How? What if there were preliminary steps to awakening the 7 mysteries' curses? Can we really assume they're unrelated just because the timing doesn't match up? Or rather, the police officer's death is so baffling that it'd be easier if it were connected to those curses. The victim wasn't the type to be caught off guard easily. You seem to know a lot about this. I suppose we weren't strangers. My personal feelings might be wrapped up in this one too. I see. If you were to investigate this matter more, you might get a lead on the mastermind. You're right, if we wish to focus on the mastermind's identity, this would be a fine starting point. We might even discover more deaths related to the curses on the way. We should pay attention to today's news. Well, that's all I have to report. Shall we continue with our investigation? What do you want to do? If you still can't use the curse stone, taking a walk should be a fine place to start. Right, let's go together. I want to see what's going on for myself. In that case, I'll trust you to decide on where we should go, ma'am. You're the investigator, you should do it. Where should I go to begin my search? Which places have stood out to me most so far? This is rough, because it's like... I'm sure it doesn't really branch out as much as I'm thinking, but given all these options, it feels like it. So the school's obviously because of the teacher. I kind of feel like we wouldn't get too much out of that with these characters. But... could be wrong. This was the factory. I kind of want to progress that, honestly. We don't really have any other connections to that. So that's kind of where I'm feeling like going. But at least we're actually going somewhere, so maybe we can just do all the options. I thought for a second that Richter's hand was a dead body on the road. The Heihaku Soap's headquarters are on the other side of South Waragasu Street. They were closed when I visited this morning, but it appears things are up and running now. Any stickers up on the second floor? This is a crossroads. Any surroundings? Back in the Edo period, the canal known as South Waragasu ran through this area, but it's been turned into a major road. It's a bit away from Kinshicho Station or Rigagoku Station, though it's still considered a nice area. The stories of the ever-burning lantern and the foot-washing mansion both took place around here. One of the bodies discovered this morning was found by this road as well. This is quite a lively area, huh? I suppose you could call it somewhat of a city center. I guess that's also good because it's a body we don't know much about. A Waraguchi partitioning ditch refers to a waterway dug down the middle of a road so as to divide it. At the dawn of the Edo period, the Honjo district was little more than a collection of suburban rice farms. As the area became more developed, the South Waragusu was excavated in order to drain rainwater into the Yokojekan River to the east. Though it served the people long and faithfully, it was converted into an underground culvert at the beginning of the Showa era. In the present, no trace of it remains on the surface, but the street that bears its name. Getting more of these notes still. Really filling it up. Yeah, there's really not. I'm feeling like basically getting to the end of the night is going to be the end of the game. So an influential person at Heihaku Soaps is potentially a curse bearer. Victor proposed we use money to negotiate for the curse stone, but we could hardly outbid a large corporation if it came down to it. You don't know that. He tells me he barely slept last night, and yet he seems to be brimming with energy. Was I too that resilient at his age? Perhaps it's what set apart a detective from the rest? Well, seems like this is just not the place for a sticker. At the very least, we can continue to move around. I think a small soap-making company could grow so much in such a short time. They have factories and warehouses throughout the area now. You can see why director and now chairwoman Natsu Yamamori is called the Queen. She's the Queen? Damn, I thought it would be like a person. Chemical producer that ranks 4th largest in the domestic detergent market, the 7th largest in the cosmetic market. From its humble beginning as a small soap factory established after the war in 1946, founder Natsue Yamamori utilized her feminine perspective and a well-timed economic boom to boldly lead the company into new markets. Even as the market grew crowded with the industrialization of Sumida City, the company continued to expand, digging its roots deep into the area. In particular, it established itself as a household name by focusing its branding towards the rapidly expanding convenience store market. That's what killed the candy store. I read about that. Its flagship products now includes cosmetics, detergent, soap, shampoo, and more. The company's name, Heihaku, can also refer to Kazuri, a type of patterned fabric. Love patterned fabric. Person of interest. I guess we did get a person of interest. Oh, it's a lady! Like, we knew it was a lady. I guess I'm more surprised we actually did get to see her at this point. I started to believe she wasn't even real. Natsue is the former president of the Hihaku Soaps, a large chemicals company. Though she retired from her position 2 years ago, she still wields a great influence over the company, from her position of chairwoman. Sorry, I was thinking of something else. Recently, there have been rumors about her possessing strange and powerful magical abilities, earning her the nickname the Witch of Hihaku. Prior to the war, Natsue enjoyed working her dream job at a textile factory. She was forced to face the bitter reality of the world, however, when the factory was destroyed by fire during the war. And she was ordered to rework the fabric she had painstakingly crafted into something more suitable for blue-collar workers. Witnessing the rise in popularity of Western-style clothing in the post-war period, Natsue left the textile industry. However, a nod to her past can be seen in her company's name, with Hihaku being another name for kazuri, a type of fabric featuring patterns and images woven with dyed fiber. Having long been dissatisfied with the soap supplied at the textile factory, Natsue saw a business opportunity and set up her own small soap factory. Taking inspiration from imported soap brands, she developed new products which quickly gained a good reputation. Ever the shrewd businesswoman, Natsue ran an aggressive promotional campaign on TV featuring a popular Japanese singer, rapidly turning Hihaku soaps into a household name. You mentioned that Takumi works as her secretary? That's correct. Do you think it's possible he's acting on her orders? That's exactly my thinking. A curse-bearer with both money and power could certainly look at resurrection as their next prize. Negotiation with a person of that stature may prove difficult. Maybe I should just kill her instead. What was that? We're gonna talk about it now, or what? First, I need to confirm whether Takumi is the man I ran into last night. Then I'll be able to determine if he's a curse-bearer. It'll be better if I go inside the headquarters alone. You should walk around. Visit a cafe for some tea, perhaps? Are you gonna do it, or should I leave? I'm gonna go in. I may be a while to feel to find somewhere to kill time. Okay, good luck in there. I'm not allowed in there. Yo, this is my time to get a sticker. Oh, that was it. Sorry to keep you waiting. How did it go? I'll fast forward to the conclusion. I met with Takumi. There's no doubt, he's the same man I saw last night. But it doesn't seem like he's a curse-bearer. That doesn't mean he has no connections to the recent curses. Oh! He knew about the 7 mysteries! Don't, like, everyone here, like, everyone in town knows, right? He even guessed we have a curse stone of our own, so he knows about it. Not so much he knows about 7 mysteries, he knows about the curses. Excuse me? I tried to approach Takumi about a fallen item after I ran into him last night. However, you said your name was Richter, correct? I have a favor I'd like to ask of you. I'm hoping you would hand over the cursed stone in your possession. Cursed stone? What are you on about? That aloof face. There's no need to play dumb with me. In fact, there's no time for it. I had all the same reason you did to think you were a curse bearer last night. And your arrival here only confirms it. You are a curse bearer, no? You're right. We lack time. I'll confess, I am a curse bearer. I possess the cursed stone of the haunting clappers. I'm glad to hear the truth. Finally, this conversation is worthwhile. It is a dangerous item you hold. Give it to me. My company will take the responsibility to dispose of it. I didn't know the soap business specialized in scrubbing curses clean. It is the prerogative of Miss Yamamori. Is that so? Assuming you've obtained the curse, you understand the power it involves, no? Miss Yamamori possesses supernatural powers akin to those of a god. She also has a deep love for this land, having transformed it from the pile of dirt it once was to the home of our headquarters. She cannot stomach the fact that it's now the site of these curses run rampant. Honestly, I believe him. I think there's too much going on in the plot to get into, like, a evil chair of the company wants the power for themselves. And, like, at this point, are we really just gonna figure out why everyone wants a Rite of Resurrection? So you're telling me the Queen of Heihaku is a real-life witch? She wouldn't appreciate being called that, mind you. There's a sorcerer by the name of Soigen Gamiodo who's gallantly working behind the scene, exercising spirits and the likes. Go on. That being so, there have already been instances of the dead coming back to life. Do you understand the urgency of this matter? These are curses we're speaking of, tools which are used by wicked beings to possess people. The Rite of Resurrection is nothing but a fabrication meant to seduce the curse bearers into unspeakable action. We guessed that could have been an option. That could have been an option. If you truly understand what I'm talking about, you must hand over that cursed stone at once. Very interesting. With that said, just how many cursed stones have you acquired so far? If what you tell me is true, surely the company would have launched a large-scale search by now. We have... There's no way. No, go fuck yourself. What the fuck are you talking about? You have 6? We know that's bullshit. Because we know where 3 of them are, and we know Haru has 1 of them. 6? Whoa. I can rest at ease then. And here I thought I was at risk of being cursed. It seems we are on the same page. If that is the case, you should hand over your curse stone immediately. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but it's not actually in my possession at the moment. Considering its importance, I've been keeping it in hiding. Really now? Then I'll accompany you while you retrieve it. I'm sorry, but I've got something important to attend to, but I promise I'll return with it later. Yeah, he believes you. Very well. Then you won't refuse to provide your address and telephone number, I presume. How prudent of you. I'll oblige. Well, you got 6 of them. And that's how it went? So they aren't after the right after all? I wouldn't be so quick to trust them. Oh? I believe we're dealing with a master in deception. He said he had 6 of these things. Who would believe that? He may well have made up a story to convince us to part ways with our stone. Even, like, without our outside knowledge of knowing that, how many stones, like, at least how many stones that we know of that 6 doesn't make sense, it would, be ridiculous to assume that he has 6. I think he was lying about having procured 6 cursed stones as well. Like, really? 6? That's excessive. Yeah. Well, now I feel gullible. The company is plotting something. I wonder what they mean to do with the cursed stones. He seemed rather desperate to get a hold of ours, despite us not having collected any soul dregs. I mean, he has no reason to believe you about that, though, does he? Perhaps the people at Heihaku are the masterminds behind the curses being unleashed. Because the chairwoman's a witch? I wonder about that, too. If she really were that powerful, would her secretary have divulged that information so casually? Takumi was either making it up as he went, or he's trying to spread a rumor. For what purpose would he do that? That's an interesting thought, then. Why would he do that? Recently, people have been caught up about the occult more than ever before. If word spreads that Heihaku's chairwoman has godlike powers, she could very well benefit socially and politically from that mystique. So, like, unrelated to anything that's happening with the 7 curses. It's just for her image. That's unsettling. I kind of feel like that's a stretch as far as an answer is concerned. Like, I don't know, I wouldn't believe that. Like how hard it is to find surroundings on that map. I should avoid Heihaku for the time being. It'll be a pain if I have to deal with Takumi again. Let me think, though. How interesting that the Queen of Heihaku, or the witch, whatever she is trying to get her hands on the Rite of Resurrection. It's like some kind of dark fairy tale. Regardless of what it is or isn't true, we must stay one step ahead. I'm assuming we're allowed to move on now. By the way, there's one more thing of interest I heard while in the company's reception lobby. And what's that? People were discussing whether one of the bodies found this morning was that of a Hihaku employee. Really? So long as the officials haven't revealed the identity, it all amounts to no more than speculation, though. Right, that would have been Shogo. I was gonna say the other body, but Shogo is employed, or was employed here. Despite that, I've reason to believe Hihaku Soaps is deeply involved with the Seven Mysteries. At the very least, I can assure you I've gathered that much. The more we know, it's better our negotiations will go. So I'm gonna say we are allowed to just move on then? I did not want to look. No stickers. Yeah, same thing there. Yeah, okay, so we're allowed to move on. I guess I didn't pay attention. Did we see a time thing when we came here? Like, time passing? It seems like we just have the options. Let's go to the park. Does park have a playground? No, it's just telling us the place. So that is really important. And basically means I probably chose wrong with the school. Look, there's a kid running in the background. We're here. This is Midorichi Park. Ayame Tono lives around here. She wasn't in her apartment when I dropped by this morning. I wonder if it's worth checking again. What do you think about that? Seems picking up Ayame's trail is out of the question for now. Why did we even come here? Oh, I guess you decided this was a bad idea. I chose wrong, you said. Place is connected with the story of the Taiko of Tsugaru. What is going on? Is that a tree? Not only that, Katsushika Hokasai's home was also in this area. That might be why Ayami chose to live here. Small park bordering southward Gesu Street, sporting a mixture of cherry and evergreen trees. Although unremarkable in most respects, its small playground... Oh, a small playground! It might have a sticker! Always attracts numbers of children come evening. While no trace remains in the modern day, it stands on what was once the site of the Tsugaru estate. The legendary artist Katsushika Hokasai is also believed to have been born in the vicinity. Yo, where's that playground at? I can't look around! Also, second floor. Well, I really have, like, no options. Is it behind Richter? Richter, get out of here! I'm looking for stickers! Dude! Work with me! It's always heartwarming to see children playing in the park. Richter seems to like kids, perhaps because they're on the same wavelength? Yeah. We won't get much done standing around here. Why don't I go and check out Ayami's apartment? You don't mean to speak with her, do you? No, I prefer to get an idea of what she's been up to. I'd like to see whether she's been home or not, just to potentially get a trace on her movements. Then, be my guest. Okay, I shouldn't be long. I'm back, ma'am. So, nothing? I'm afraid so. She still hasn't returned. However, I noticed a few people who seem to be related to the police force keeping watch in the area. I don't know if they got eyes on her apartment, but they do appear to be watching the building it's in. Do we know anything about the building that would do that? Interesting. Got a sharp eye to have noticed them despite them being so covert. What can I say? It's part of the job. However, it meant I had to refrain from knocking on her door or looking through her windows. I wasn't able to check her electric meter or mailbox either, unfortunately. You were planning to go that far? Was this where one of the other bodies was found? I forgot where the other body was supposed to have been found. So, like, nothing. We won't make much progress sticking around here. Okay. Well, I chose wrong then. I can go back to the... Okay, interesting. There'll be a sticker at the front gate here, though. Front gate sticker. Look, I see it right there. I don't see it. I'm lying. Here we are at Ground Zero, Komagata High School. I guess it's logical that the police's got this place shut down. The teacher's body was found here, after all. Police's is wrong, right? Like, that doesn't sound right. You would just say that the police got this place shut down, not police's. Well, that's like... Oh, yeah, no, that's wrong. That's just wrong. Sorry. When you're not positive on your own English skills, sometimes you have to question yourself. It's as if the students have nowhere to go now that the school's closed. That's so tragic. Is there a sticker nearby? The news has attracted a bunch of curious onlookers, huh? That works in our favor. The more people around, the better we can blend in. Yeah, Richter? You blending in? Everything else is just surroundings. I'm not... School gate. Seems the officers are still inspecting the scene. Entry has been strictly prohibited. Okay. Well, maybe someone else needs to be at the school to properly get the gate. I'm not really seeing anything else that I can properly investigate. He appears to be wary of those police officers. Maybe the police really do have something against private investigators, just like in those detective novels. Yo, who's that in the background? Is that Yako? This place is said to be connected with the story of the Fool's Procession. I wouldn't be surprised if a curse bearer decided to turn up. However, I need to find out if this teacher was a curse bearer or not. I expect the police to be baffled since they don't know about the curse. I was just thinking about something real quick. I want to just double check. The evergreen, that causes them to, like, hang. Oh, I killed by hanging. Because I was kind of thinking, like, oh, falling is kind of similar to being, like, hung, but I wanted to just make sure it wasn't something that could be like, oh, maybe it was a trick because one of these is close to the other one. I can ask around and see what the students have to say. I don't think there's much else we can do. Inquire? Alright, I'll go ask the students about Michio. I'm back, ma'am. So, what did you learn? That school kids sure love a good rumor. I was practically drowning in stories about Mr. Junichi and Michio, most of which seemed dubious at best. Not surprising. Most of what I heard was hardly worth a second thought, but there was one story that caught my attention. Oh? Some believe that Michio is the one who killed Mr. Junichi. Really? The story's got two pieces of evidence to back it up. Evidence, you say. One of them wasn't news to me. Apparently he's been mumbling that Michio was going to kill him for some days now. A fellow teacher overheard his mumbling and told the students. The teacher told the students? And then it spread like wildfire, I suppose. Rumor that juicy doesn't stay a secret long. Don't say secrets long. A fellow teacher overheard his mumbling and told the students. That seems like a weird thing for a teacher to tell the students. As for the other piece of evidence, a pigtailed girl in her school uniform was seen around school late last night. She was seen. Who saw her? Go on. Although numerous, again, the braids are pigtailed, then that would be, Michio, so. Although numerous people claim to have seen the girl, not one of them saw her face. Some are proposing it was Michio brought back to life, or that it was her vengeful spirit. But it's not like Michio's the only high school girl to wear pigtails. This rumor might have been made up just to fan the flames. But if it were true, I'd want to get a hold of her in order to hear her side of the kidnapping. The evil spirit, you're gonna, like, grapple her? Make her talk? If she's alive, that'd be ideal. There's still one more thing I should mention. I discovered where Michio lived. A student had a list of student addresses on hand. That's an amazing find. I believe all of the students actually have a copy of said list. It truly worries me how easy it was to obtain what should be confidential information. Imagine what would happen if that information got into the wrong hands. Well, so far it hasn't, no? Sure, let's hope it stays that way. So far, I mean, basically, the information's just easily out there, so who knows who has it. In the meantime, it is now possible for us to visit Michio Shirayashi's house. I like how Richter said that in a way that very much was like, you have unlocked this gameplay mechanic. Like, it wasn't just like, we should probably go check out her house. It was, we have unlocked it. Michio's home. I'd expect her family might be able to tell us more, but it's a hard topic to bring up so soon after her suicide. However, it's normal for a high school girl to keep things hidden from her parents, especially if it involves criminal activity. We're moving on out. We have unlocked Michio's house. This is where the top floor is going to have a sticker, I know it. Right there, I see it! How did it go? I went to visit Michio Shirayashi's family home, however, no one seemed to be there. I got no answer at the door, and all the lights were out. I'm, like, so thankful, because I was kind of somewhat worried that her parents would be characters. We need the characters to stop growing. Seems to have been empty for a while now. There was a stack of newspapers out front. Do you think that Michio killed her parents? Sorry. That's just kind of where I'm vibing right now. It's a bit quieter over here. It is a residential area after all. All these rundown row houses really scream working class, don't they? Like, I mean, so we are working under the assumption that she led Haru's son. I didn't want to look at surroundings again. To potentially someone else who's like more so the mastermind. And I think it would have been somewhat safe to assume it was Jinochi, based on like whatever his thing is. But I don't think that really is what's happening. That just is kind of what the leading theory in the game is. I don't understand why no one's come to this house, even after Michio committed suicide. I wonder if this place is okay. I'm just, you know what I'm doing. I've never liked these messy and cluttered back streets. They give me the jitters every time. It's reassuring to have someone as strong and tall as Richter accompanying me. He looks so unfazed. I suppose a detective is used to this kind of thing. Always investigating and chasing criminals. I wouldn't be cut out for it. Social connections run deep in working class areas like this place, so I decided to talk to the locals. I met a few nice old ladies who were kind enough to give me the scoop. Turns out the Shirayashi's reputation really went down the dumps this past year. Is that so? I'll give you the quick summary. There was a weird shadow man behind us, but I don't think that's like a scary shadow man. I think that's just people in the streets on a... Like, it's daytime. It makes sense that there's just people out. They moved here about 3 years ago. Their previous residence was in a better part of town. Michio's father died in a car accident, leaving behind just the two of them. Michio's mom, Toshiko, now a single mother, relocated here. At first they got along with their neighbors, many of which were in similar situations, helping and being helped in turn. So far so good, what happened? Well, as I said, their reputation began to go downhill about a year ago. A man recognized as Toshiko's common-law husband had moved into the household. His name was apparently Kenkichiro Iwai. Neighborhood gossip is something else. Somehow, everyone knew his name. Sort of this Iwai character. He was apparently a vulgar fellow with a criminal record. He was prone to violent outbursts. The neighbors often heard screams and shouting coming from the home. Would it be possible that Toshiko is Najima? Like, criminal record, right? Prone to violent outbursts, the neighbors often heard screams and shouts coming from the home. The neighbors took particular notice of Toshiko's scream, pleading with him to not hit Michio. That's terrible. As if that wasn't unsettling enough, every night the neighbors also began to hear an eerie chanting. Through this, the Shiraishi is standing in the neighborhood... Oh, shadow person! The Shiraishi is standing in the neighborhood plummeted rapidly. Toshiko was often seen covered in bruises and wounds. She stopped responding to her neighbors. She would just turn the other way when greeted. They kept their storm shutters closed even during the day and effectively shut themselves away from the entire community. That sounds horrible. Why didn't the police step in and do something? Unfortunately, under our current laws, the police aren't allowed to get involved with domestic disputes. I mean, that's awful. The thing is, though, 3 years ago, like 3 years of him being in this relationship and the parole officer not doing shit, like, I guess if on, I don't remember like the time frame, he was let on parole after 20 years, it might have been that he was like let loose for enough time to be 3 years. I guess potentially this could have been his home, was this place where he what's an in-law husband? I've heard that term before. I think it's like they're not legally married, right? But like again, I don't know how like being on parole, like would he be okay to be in a relationship with someone that has a daughter? And I guess we just know the parole officer was not good at his job, so didn't see the domestic stuff or didn't care, like they said they can't do anything about it, I guess. And then went missing in their place of residence like what, a week ago or a couple days, which could be where the newspapers and stuff came from, and also the suicide. I don't know. This might be a stretch of me trying to connect it. I'm not really too confident about it. And then Michio reportedly killed herself. Things only got worse with Iwai, and Toshiko was admitted to the hospital for physical and mental abuse. Ever since, Iwai hasn't returned to the home. Many locals expressed sympathy for Michio's circumstances, but just as many were fed up with the Shirayashis entirely and seemed relieved that things finally quieted down again. It seems that they were still considered outsiders even after 3 years of living here. I don't understand it. Why would Toshiko have gotten involved with such a brutish good-for-nothing in the first place? I've heard many stories where one partner's personality does a complete turn after entering a relationship. After her first husband's death, Toshiko's financial situation had also taken a turn for the worst. She was determined to send her daughter to a good high school. It's possible she fell victim to sweet promises. Life can be tough, I suppose. I can't imagine Najima being able to make enough money to have those promises, though. You don't seem moved by the story, ma'am. That's fine. People have all kinds of stories. Never mind, we have like a full... I guess it could be him if he just shaved his head, but like he looks like the Yakuza. Which I doubt he is, but... The common-law husband of Michio Shirayashi's mother, Toshiko Shirayashi. Kankichiro started coming and going from the Shirayashi household a little over a year ago. It seems he had served some time in prison, but the details are unknown. He served time in prison? I don't know. Could it be him? Let's cross-examine. I would say no. Do we have the mother? No, okay. Oh! Did... It sounded like the microwave like, finished. Oh, so you came here too? What is it? Yeah, I was gonna say his expression seemed like it was people that he would kind of trust. Ah. Could you repeat what you know one more time for me, Richter? Is that what this chapter is? Because it looks like we're on the same street. Fancy sushi. Okay, we have nowhere else to go but there. For fancy sushi. I'm not confident about that last theory that I tried to pull off. That he's, Najima. It's... maybe it's possible depending on if the timeline matches up, but I don't know. Seems a little bit weird. Summary of previous events. With dusk fast approaching, they have no time to waste. With that in mind, Tsumi and Yuro directed their investigation towards Komagata High School and the Shiriashi residence. Yeah, so they probably just went to the school, and that's gonna be where I get a sticker finally. And then we will, you know, meet up on the streets.